For the first project, I'll be using these 2 milk bottles and mini crate that I got from Dollar Tree. I painted the milk bottles with white chalk paint. I ended up doing 3 coats here. I stained the crate with some stain that I had on hand. Once the milk bottles and crate had dried completely overnight, I took a sanding block and roughed up the edges of the milk bottle. For a decorative touch, I added this burlap and lace ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree to the mini crate. I made a bow out of this lace ribbon and hot glued it in place onto the mini crate. To add a little Valentine's color, I added a red ribbon to the top of the milk bottles. Because I sanded these bottles, I got some paint dust inside of them, so I just took them to the sink and rinsed them out. Because I used a little bit too much water, I did remove some of the paint on the back. Luckily it's on the back, so I just hit it. To finish this project, I just simply placed the milk bottles inside the crate and inserted these paper straws that I got from Target for $1. You can find very similar straws from the Dollar Tree. And here is the finished look. I love how these came out. They were so easy and so cute. For this next project, I'll be using this love sign from Dollar Tree. I started by removing the ribbon on the back and filling the holes with some spackle that I picked up there too. Next, using a flathead screwdriver, I removed the galvanized heart from the sign. It did remove some of the paper, and I did sand it a little bit. It left somewhat of a hole, but it's not a big deal. We'll be covering it later. For the next step, I covered the entire sign with this ivory colored chalk paint. I just mixed a little bit of brown acrylic paint with white chalk paint. When I painted this, I was kind of sloppy and I just wanted to leave some of that texture in there because I wanted to look like wood grain in the end. I had 3 coats of paint to ensure that the letters were fully covered. Once the sign was dry, I went back over it with some dark brown into the ridges to just really accentuate them. For the next step, I took some white chalk paint and mixed it with some brown acrylic paint to create a deeper shade of brown to go over the sign with. This brush that I'm using here was a little bit wet, which is why it's so watery when it went on the sign. It ended up drying just fine though. Next, I wanted to create some faux knots into the sign. So I took the darker brown paint and I painted exactly where that ripped up heart was to kind of hide it, and just went through and added little details here and there that I was going to go over later just to make it look a little more realistic. Once I had all my faux knots painted, I went over them with a drier brush and just gently melded them together so that it wasn't so harsh. I played around with the paint for quite a while until I got the look that I liked. In the end, it's not really important that it's super perfect because there is going to be stuff on top of it, but I think that the end finish came out really good. I found this cute coffee cup plaque at the Dollar Tree. I really liked the color teal that was on it already, but I wanted to cover up the words because I'll be adding actual lettering to the sign, so I thought it was just going to be a little bit too much words. So I just painted it with some pink acrylic paint. To add some texture to this coffee cup, I decided to use some pink burlap ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree and hot glue it in place to act as the sleeve. Then I finished off the coffee cup with a little twine bow. I adhered the coffee cup to the wood sign with some hot glue. Using my Silhouette Cameo, I cut out on vinyl the words "Love You a Latte." The font for "I Love You" is in the skinny, and "a latte" is in Magnolia Sky. You'll see here that I adhere "Love You" just fine, but I accidentally stick a latte right onto my work surface, so I would not do that. If you don't have a Silhouette machine or a Cameo, I would absolutely use the stickers from the Dollar Tree, which originally was my plan because I wanted this project to be 100% Dollar Tree, but my Dollar Tree didn't have any vinyl stickers available. And here is the finished sign on my coffee bar. I think this came out so cute. I don't even think you have to keep it up just for Valentine's Day. I honestly would use this year-round. For this next really easy DIY, I'll be taking scrapbook paper and covering the bottles of my coffee syrups. Using a small tape measure, I measured the width and the height of the existing labels on the bottles. I have 3 different coffee syrup bottles I'll be covering, so I just cut out the scrapbook paper 3 times. Because I will be using these syrups, I need the scrapbook paper to be a little bit more protected. So I just took some packing tape and I covered them completely to almost give a laminated type of finish. To attach the labels to the bottle, I tried hot gluing at first, but it just wouldn't stick. I think that the 2 labels were just too slick and had nothing to grip. I ended up just using some Scotch tape, which I actually prefer because after the season's over, I can simply remove it and just keep the original label that's on there. For another little romantic touch, I added some lace ribbon to the top and the bottom of the label. Because I had completely covered the label, I had to go through and individually mark each bottle, otherwise I wouldn't have known which flavor was which. These chalkboard plaques came from Dollar Tree. They were in a pack of 4 for $1. To make them not look so crisp and clean, I took a side of a piece of chalk and I rubbed it on it, which is actually called seasoning a chalkboard. I'm sure it's not really necessary in this case, but I just wanted it to look a little more vintage. Using a white paint pen that I could get from Dollar Tree, I labeled the chalkboards. I started in the center of the word, like here you can see I'm writing the word caramel, and I start with an A and then I just went outwards. My signs aren't perfect. I honestly did them like 3 times and then I just gave up and thought, if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. To attach the plaques to the bottle, I just wrapped some twine around the neck of the bottle and hung it where I liked it. And here is the finished look on my coffee bar. I absolutely love how these came out. They are so cute. I really love that I would just be able to rip them off too because they're just attached with tape and I can change out the scrapbook paper for literally any season. And for the last DIY, I'm just going to be embellishing this coffee bar sign. I almost feel bad calling it a DIY because I'm hardly doing anything to this sign, but adding just a little touch of greenery really makes this coffee bar sign pop and ties in with the romantic feel that I have going on with the rest of the space. You'll see here that I just play around with the flowers for a little bit until I decide exactly what I like. And here is the sign on my coffee bar. I think the flowers really tied in with the rest of the DIYs we did today. And here is the completed coffee bar. I think that this came out really cute. All the projects kind of came together. They're all really inexpensive. Most of them are almost completely from the Dollar Tree. Super easy to do. There are a few other projects that you might notice on the coffee bar. Those are in a different video. I'll link that in the description box below.